Welcome to the deep dive. We take compelling sources, stacks of them sometimes, and pull out the key insights for you.
That's the plan.
And today we're looking at this really interesting journey from chaos to clarity.
Hmm.
It's about how some pretty unexpected teachers, we're talking like a video game and a digital notebook, can actually guide growth.
Yeah, through small fixes, not perfection. That's the key phrase.
Exactly. Small fixes.
It's quite fascinating, isn't it, how these, well, totally different activities, like high-intensity gaming on one hand
Right.
and this sort of methodical note-taking on the other, how they can actually teach these universal principles.
About rebuilding, finding momentum.
Uh-huh. Navigating complexity. This deep dive, I think, will really show how personal systems, if you approach them adaptively, can bring clarity.
Okay, so our goal today is simple. Pull out those surprising facts, those actionable bits that can help you restart momentum, find some clarity.
Especially when things feel like they're, falling apart.
We want to show maybe there's a simpler path forward than you might think. Let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So our story actually starts pretty far from gaming consoles or digital apps. It begins in Lucknow, India.
Right, where the author grew up in a joint family.
Yeah, picture this world where you have these stories of virtue and morality.
Mm-hmm. The ideal.
Rubbing right up against the messy reality of the daily news. Terror attacks, corruption, violence against women.
A real clash.
Yeah.
Those contradictions were just baked into the environment early on.
And that exposure, seeing ideals hit harsh truths.
It sparked this habit, didn't it? Constantly asking why.
Yes, but not just a surface why. More like, why do some systems hold up while others just collapse?
And that question got very real during their Gandhi Fellowship.
The education reform program.
Exactly. They saw firsthand how the education system, it looked okay on paper, seemed structured,
Right.
but it consistently failed to address the complexity on the ground, just couldn't handle the real-world messiness.
Wow. That's a stark revelation. Seeing that gap must have been, well, frustrating.
Oh, incredibly.
So how did that experience, watching systems fail, despite, good intentions, shape their own perspective, even their own perfectionism?
Well, it was pivotal. That observation really shifted their thinking from just asking this abstract why to a much more practical how.
Okay.
How do we actually deal with this when systems fail? And importantly, it connected to their own frustrations.
Their own struggle.
Yeah, they realized their own perfectionism, that need for everything to be just so, was actually mirroring the rigidity of the very systems they were criticizing.
Oh, interesting. So it wasn't just out there, it was in here, too.
Exactly. A deep link between their internal approach and the external problems they saw.
So this gap, theory versus reality, both outside and inside, it just kept widening.
It did, and eventually it led to a breaking point, a real personal collapse.
This is the period described as when it all fell apart.
Mm-hmm. The pandemic hit, and as the author puts it, depression collapsed my structures entirely.
And this wasn't short-lived. It was a 5-year struggle.
5 years, where everything just felt meaningless.
Hmm.
Truly a dark, isolating time.
Can you give us a sense of that meaninglessness? What did that actually feel like, just to set the stage for what comes next?
Well, it's described as this profound emptiness, like waking up and there's just nothing driving you, no purpose.
Goals, ambitions, gone.
Vanished. Social connections felt hollow. It wasn't just sadness, it was inertia. Like the internal compass was just spinning.
Wow.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, you see how fragile those rigid structures are. Personal routines, societal frameworks.
They can just shatter.
They can. And it highlights the power of external anchors when the internal stuff crumbles.
Okay, so what was the turning point? It wasn't some grand plan.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was finding this quiet reliance in really simple, basic responsibilities.
Like what?
Responsibility to family, pets, and those quietly depending on them. The small things.
Pets. Family.
Surprisingly, yeah. That became the necessary spark. The little nudge that can pull us forward when everything else feels broken.
That's really powerful. And relatable, I think. Those quiet forces we often overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us face overwhelm, burnout. So for someone listening, where could they even start to look for that quiet reliance? What does that look like?
Well, it's usually not the big stuff, not the major commitments. For the author, it was literally the cat needing food, the dog needing a walk.
Simple needs.
Yeah. For you listening, maybe it's a plant needing water, a promise to call your mom, that small task at work only you handle.
Right.
It's finding those consistent small points where your absence matters, even just a little. They're not burdens. They're like tiny gravitational pulls.
Right, reestablishing routine almost subconsciously.
Exactly, creating just a tiny bit of momentum when everything else feels impossible.
Okay, so this search for momentum, for a way to quiet the noise inside my own head, leads to Obsidian.
The digital notebook, yeah.
At first, it was just a place to dump thoughts, right? A scratch pad.
Pretty much. Just to
Yeah.
get the restless thoughts out, declutter the mind.
But then a key lesson emerged. Their so-called perfect setup broke every time.
Every single time life shifted, yeah.
What does that tell us about trying to build these ideal systems?
It just shows that rigidity doesn't work in the real world, does it? We try to build this perfect, static thing.
Hoping it'll last forever.
Right. But life changes. Priorities shift. Stuff happens. And this constant breaking down of the perfect system in Obsidian forced this realization. Systems aren't meant to be finished. They're meant to evolve.
Ah, not done, but living.
Exactly. So Obsidian changed. It went from a dumping ground to more of a workshop for ideas.
How? Through what?
Through continuous tiny adjustments. Messy notes started turning into actions. Clarity started to actually take root.
And the big insight.
Adaptability beats elegance. That's the core. It's a direct challenge to that rigidity, the perfectionism we talked about earlier.
Right, from the education system and their own approach.
It's about refining as you go, not building some final static monument.
Adaptability over elegance. That's a big shift mentally, isn't it? For anyone who's tried to organize their digital life, or any part of their life, really.
Oh, definitely.
What was the hardest part of letting go of that perfect setup idea, and what's the payoff if you do?
I think the biggest hurdle is just letting go of the idea of a perfection itself. It's so tempting to research endlessly for the best way.
Instead of just starting.
Exactly, instead of just starting and adapting. For the author, it was the repeated failure that forced the change. The payoff, you can almost feel it in the writing. It's relief.
Relief from the pressure.
Yeah. When you stop chasing the impossible ideal and just commit to those tiny adjustments, this system starts to serve you.
Instead of being another chore.
Right. It becomes a partner in your thinking, not a rule book you're failing. That mental space, that relief, is incredibly powerful.
That mental space sounds amazing. And then, almost at the same time as this Obsidian evolution, Valorant comes into the picture.
The tactical shooter game, yeah.
Initially just an escape, right? Escape from reality and depression.
Totally. Drown out the noise with fast action, high stakes.
But it didn't stay just an escape. It became a lab.
A lab, yeah. Because it offered this immediate hit of consequence and feedback. Every round, every shot mattered.
And there was joy in small wins.
Absolutely. Described as the joy of landing one perfect headshot, no matter how small, feeling like a vital sign returning. A tiny concrete win when everything else felt meaningless.
Okay.
But what really made it a lab was replaying matches, systematically analyzing,
Seeing the patterns.
glaring patterns, mistakes repeating round after round. But instead of getting overwhelmed, the approach changed
How so?
to fix one mistake at a time.
Yeah.
Holding a safer angle here, adjusting timing there, fixing crosshair placement, small things.
Not trying to fix everything at once.
No. And these small corrections compounded. Rounds got calmer, results got better, and crucially, the game didn't just teach the fixes.
It did something else.
It reignited the spark, that sense of purpose, of agency, control, progress.
Ah, so it turned the grind into a quest.
Precisely. It wasn't just about rank anymore. It was about the satisfaction of learning, adapting, improving. The chase itself became rewarding.
That's a really key distinction, the grind versus the quest. So you have these two totally different worlds. Obsidian, quiet, analytical, Valorant, fast, competitive.
Seemingly pulls apart.
Yet they end up teaching a strikingly similar lesson. How?
Well, what's fascinating is, despite the differences, they both operate on this core loop. Adaptability, iteration, feedback, repeat.
Explain that loop.
In Obsidian, you write, you use notes, you realize a link or tag is off, you tweak it, iterate.
Okay.
In Valorant, you
Yeah.
play, you watch the replay, identify a mistake,
No.
adjust your strategy for the next round, iterate.
Feedback, tweak, repeat.
In
In both cases.
Exactly. They're both closed-loop systems where small experiments lead to big improvements over time.
So it suggests something fundamental about how we learn.
I think so. It suggests our brains are kind of wired for this cycle. We don't need grand perfection. We need clear, immediate feedback and the permission to make small adjustments.
Whether it's organizing notes or, tactical combat.
The principles hold true. Learning, adaptation, It's universal.
And this whole journey, mixing structured thought with competitive play, it led to another big realization, didn't it?
It did. That clarity isn't just discovered, it's shared.
Ah, seeing others.
Yeah, watching creators like Sergio share their Obsidian workflows, showing their process step by step, that was really inspiring.
Inspired the author to share their own journey,
Exactly. Which led to Quest and Crossfire.
the author's own platform.
Yeah, space created specifically to show how struggle becomes strength, systems fuel creativity, and gaming powers growth, built on these very lessons.
And the core message there.
It's that this path from chaos to clarity, it isn't some heroic leap. It's not some secret only gurus know.
It's accessible.
Profoundly accessible. It's just a series of small, achievable steps, like those tiny fixes from Valorant.
Right. Makes the whole idea of growth feel less daunting.
It demystifies it, shows how practical, iterative change actually works.
So if you're listening and grappling with your own chaos, feeling stuck, this whole approach is genuinely within reach.
Doesn't need a huge overhaul, just a willingness to take those small steps.
Okay, so looking back across this whole story, Lucknow, Obsidian, Valorant, some really powerful truths emerge.
Definitely.
First, perfection is brittle. We saw that clearly. Evolving systems survive contact with reality.
Ones that bend, not break. Absolutely.
Second, this idea that data is a conversation, your notes, your game stats, they're not just records.
No, it reflects what happened and suggests what to try next. It's a dialogue with your own progress.
Then third, responsibility creates momentum. Those quiet reliances we talked about.
They give you fundamental reasons to keep going, even small ones.
And finally, maybe the most comforting one, progress hides in small places.
One angle, one tag, one little tweak, those are the building blocks.
So to help you listening apply this stuff, the source gives two really practical experiments, small ones.
Yeah, low stakes, easy to try. The first is the Tinker Pass.
Okay, Tinker Pass, what is it?
Just 15 minutes, once a week. That's it. You open your note system or whatever you use, task manager, journal.
Whatever tool you use.
Right. Pick one friction point. Something specific that bugs you, like I can never find meeting notes or my ideas get lost.
One small thing.
One small thing. Make one small change, add a tag, create a folder, simplify a template, whatever it is. Then, crucially, write a simple rule for what to do if it breaks or doesn't work.
Okay, a little contingency plan.
Yeah, just so you're not stuck. Let it run for a week, then review it next week. See how it went.
So it keeps the system light, experimental.
Exactly. Always evolving. Stops it from becoming another rigid thing you hate. Makes the tools work for you.
I like that. Very manageable. 15 minutes a week. What's the second one?
The second is the one pattern review. This is maybe 10, 15 minutes, ideally right after you do something.
After what kind of activity?
Could be focus work, study, even play, a project task you struggled with, maybe a draft you wrote, a gaming session.
Okay.
You revisit that recent session, identify one repeated mistake or friction point, just one.
Be specific.
Very specific. Capture it in a single line, clearly. Then define one micro adjustment for the next time. Like outline before drafting if it's writing. Yeah. Or hold safer angle if it's gaming. Something tiny and actionable.
Got it.
Track that one adjustment for a week. See if it helps. Reflect, then adjust again. But the key is, don't obsess.
Focus on learning, not perfection.
Exactly. It shifts your focus from chasing perfection to learning through feedback, tweak, repeat. Like a scientist, observing, adapting, not judging.
These really aren't about massive changes, are they?
Not at all.
It's embracing fixing one piece at a time, building momentum through those tiny improvements.
Just like with Obsidian, just like with Valorant. Simplicity and consistency. That's the beauty.
So this whole deep dive, it really shows that growth isn't about perfection or these huge heroic efforts.
No, it's a fundamental shift in mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
From rigid expectations to adaptive practice.
Constantly cycling through feedback, tweak, repeat.
Allowing the mess, understanding it, and then purposefully building clarity from it, one small step at a time.
The real power then seems to lie in focusing on what we can fix within ourselves, within our systems.
One note, one round, one small fix at a time. It really drives home that consistent small adjustments add up.
They lead to significant, sustainable progress.
Which is a really empowering message, I think, for anyone feeling overwhelmed.
Definitely. So our provocative thought for you to carry forward from all this, what's your next small fix? The one tiny thing you can adjust to move from feeling stuck to starting again. Where can you apply a Tinker Pass or a one pattern review this week?
Something to think about.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.